The night was thick with smoke and silence. Flames licked the dark horizon where the mountains met the sky, and the air reeked of blood and betrayal. In the middle of that chaos, a lone rider galloped through the valley, her armor cracked, her hands trembling, and her eyes burning with fury that could set the world ablaze. She was General Alina Varas, the Iron Rose of the Eastern Command, the woman whose name once made entire armies drop their weapons. But tonight, she was not leading an army. Tonight, she was riding alone, chasing ghosts who had taken everything from her. Before we dive deeper into this powerful story of courage, loss, and unbreakable spirit, take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to KindHeartsHub if you believe in kindness, second chances, and the strength that comes from never giving up, no matter how dark the night gets. Just 3 days earlier, Alina had returned home after years of war. She had fought for peace, brokered treaties, and led men twice her size into battles they thought they couldn't win. The kingdom had finally found quiet, and for the first time in her life, Alina allowed herself to breathe. She returned to her small village tucked between the green hills, a place of laughter, open fields, and the familiar smell of bread baking in the mornings. She hugged her little sister Amara, promised her that she was done fighting and that the sound of swords would never again echo through their lives. But peace, it seemed, was a fragile dream. At dawn, a group of ruthless bandits descended from the northern ridge. They came not for gold or power, but for destruction. They had heard rumors that the famed general lived in this valley and wanted to make an example of her. They burned homes, tore through fields, and took innocent lives without mercy. Alina had been in the forest that morning, collecting wild herbs with Amara when they saw the smoke. She ran faster than she ever had before, but by the time she reached the village, the sky was on fire, and her sister was gone. That moment broke her. For hours she searched through ashes, calling Amara's name until her voice was nothing but a whisper. She found her sister's necklace, the small silver pendant shaped like a bird, lying in the dirt. That was all that was left. Alina knelt in the ruins of her home, her body shaking, her heart shattering into something darker, sharper. She had seen death on battlefields before, but this was different. This was personal. The kingdom's council refused to intervene. They called the attack a local matter, saying their soldiers couldn't be spared. The war is over, they said. Let the villages handle their own troubles. But Alina knew what those words really meant. They didn't care. They had used her when she was needed and discarded her when the peace she fought for no longer served them. So she did what no one expected. She put her armor back on. She pulled her blade from the ashes, the same blade that had won the Eastern Wars, and she rode north, following the trail of the bandits. Her heart was heavy, but her will was iron. Every step her horse took through the misty forest was a heartbeat closer to vengeance. She wasn't chasing glory or justice anymore. She was chasing a promise she had made to a little sister who believed in her. For 2 days and nights, she tracked them through ravines and across rivers. She slept little, ate nothing, and spoke not a word. The bandits, drunk on their own cruelty, thought the valley's people would cower forever. They didn't know that the ashes they left behind had birthed a storm named Alina. When she finally found their camp, it was hidden deep in the highlands, surrounded by cliffs. Through the clouds, casting a silver light over her armor, she whispered one last time to the night, "For her." And then she struck. The first bandit never saw her coming. Her sword flashed, silent and swift, cutting through the air like justice itself. Panic spread through the camp as men stumbled, shouted, grabbed their weapons. But it was too late. She was everywhere, moving with the precision of a seasoned warrior and the rage of a grieving sister. The ground trembled beneath the weight of her vengeance. They fired arrows, swung axes, tried to surround her, but she tore through them like a storm tearing through dry grass. For hours the battle raged in the valley. The night was filled with screams, metal, and fire. By dawn, silence returned. The bandits' flags lay trampled in the mud, their camp reduced to ruins, and in the middle of it all, Alina stood, bloodied, trembling, but unbroken. The last surviving bandit crawled toward her, begging for mercy. She looked down at him, her eyes empty, her voice calm, and said, "Mercy is for those who show it." When she returned to the village, the people gathered in stunned silence. Word of her vengeance spread across the land. The council tried to claim her victory as their own, calling her actions an act of national defense. But the villagers knew the truth. Alina hadn't fought for a kingdom. She fought for love. She fought for every mother, every daughter, every soul that had ever been told they were powerless. In the weeks that followed, Alina helped rebuild what was lost. She turned the ruins into a sanctuary for the weak, a home for the wounded and the forgotten. She taught the young to defend themselves, to never let fear silence them again. The once quiet valley became a place of strength and healing, known as the Haven of the Iron Rose. People from distant lands came seeking her wisdom, not just as a general but as a survivor who had turned her pain into power. But even as the world called her a hero, Alina carried her grief quietly. At sunset, she would visit the old oak tree where her sister used to sing, placing fresh wildflowers at its roots. Some nights, the villagers swore they saw her kneeling there, whispering to the wind, and when the wind blew back, they could almost hear a child's laughter echoing through the hills. Years later, the kingdom would tell stories about the night the bandits vanished, about the woman who fought not for crowns or glory, but for the love she lost and the peace she refused to let die. Her legend became a beacon for those who had been broken, a reminder that even in the darkest hour, the human spirit, especially the heart of a woman, could rise unyielding. And so, the bandits who thought they were chasing weakness learned too late what true strength looked like. They thought they could destroy her. Instead, she destroyed the darkness that had consumed them all. If this story touched your heart, if it made you believe in courage, love, and the power of standing back up when life knocks you down, then please like, share, and subscribe to KindHeartsHub. Your support helps us bring more stories of strength and kindness to light.